My name is Daniel. I'm 38 years old. In Riverton, a quiet city, I work as a financial planner. I thought my life was solid for 10 years. I had a good job, a nice house, and a beautiful wife named Sophie. We became friends in college. She was calm, smart, and funny. We got married when we were 26 years old. We didn't have kids, but we talked about it a lot. We used to, anyway. Something has changed in the past year. It began small. Sophie began to stay at work late. She managed projects at a tech company. Due dates, meetings, and work trips. That was what she said. I didn't question it at first, but then she started to watch her phone. Her passphrase was changed. In a different room, she began to answer calls. If I called, she would end the call right away. I woke up at 2 a.m. one night. She wasn't in bed. I slowly went downstairs. She had her car parked outside and was on the phone. It was dark. She quickly hung up when she saw me standing at the window.
She was fine in the morning after everything. Sophia was in the shower one night when her phone rang on the kitchen table. I wasn't going to look at it, but the screen lit up. There was a message. "I already miss you. It was great last night." My heart stopped. The name of the person was saved as M. My hands were shaking. I didn't read the letter. I didn't need to. I thought I knew it already. She told me she had a late meeting the following Friday. I did nothing for 10 minutes after she left. Then I went after her. It made me sick to do it, but I had to get the truth. She didn't go to work. She went across town to a small house by car, a white-walled old house on a quiet street. She parked and went inside. It took me almost 60 minutes to sit in my car. It hurt to breathe. The door finally opened. She went outside with a man. Tall, dark jacket, might be in their early 40s. He gently put his hand on her arm. Something inside me broke. She gave him a smile. Not a friendly smile, but a soft, close smile. Before she could see me, I drove home. When she got home that night, I asked her straight out, "Are you seeing someone else?" She stopped moving, just for a moment. Her eyes showed fear. After that, she looked worn out. "Yes," she said in a low voice, no denying or making excuses. "Yes, please." "How long?" I asked. 6 months. 6 months of lies. I got myself laughing. 6 months of living a lie. "Do you love him?" I spoke softly. She didn't answer. That was enough of an answer. We didn't talk much the next week. She slept in the room for guests. I talked to a lawyer. It felt like nothing was real. It felt like I was seeing someone else's life fall apart. I asked her one more thing one night. "What does he look like?" She wasn't sure. After that, she said something odd. "I don't want to know." I thought about that line a lot. After 3 days, someone knocked on my door. There were 2 cops. My heart began to beat fast. Someone told Mr. Daniel Carter, "Yes, we need to talk about your wife with you." My body was filled with cold fear. What took place? The police officer looked tense. "Know a person named Michael Reeves?" I gave a slow nod. "That's the guy she's seeing." The 2 cops looked at each other. "Last night, Michael Reeves' body was found." There was silence. "Like you dead? How?" I spoke softly. "Wounded by a gun." I was feeling dizzy. "What does that have to do with Sophie?" The police officer took a close look at me. "Neighbors saw your wife walk into his house just before they heard the shots." My mind blew up. Not at all. She wouldn't, though. But as I said it, I thought of what she had said. "Do you want to know?" Sophie was taken into custody the next morning. From the window, I saw them put handcuffs on her. She didn't seem shocked. She wasn't sad. I had never seen anything in her eyes before. She just looked at me. Nothing bad, like shame or fear, but something darker. Weeks went by. The cops then found something very scary. Michael Reeves was more than just her boyfriend. He was the father of her children. That made me sick to read in the story. Sophie found a new family when she was a kid. A year ago, she found her real dad. They met behind closed doors. Their relationship got weird, confusing, and upsetting.
She found out that he had a dangerous past and had hurt another woman years before. She tried to break up with him. He said no. He said he would reveal everything. He said he would come to our house. He threatened to end her life and mine. She went there to end it the night he died. Based on what she said, he hit her. There was a fight. The gunshot was heard. For protection. Later, the court said it was a legal murder. After everything, she was let go. Sophie went home after the court case was over and the news stopped talking about it. At the kitchen table, we sat across from each other. Let's be quiet. Then she said something that made my blood freeze. I never lied to you. I looked at her. What? I had to have you believe I did. It was hard for me. She went on slowly. If you thought I was lying to you, you would be mad. You'd push me away. You didn't follow me. I learned something that night. I didn't follow her the night she killed him because I thought I already knew the truth. That was what she had planned. She made me think she was seeing someone else. Hence, I would stay away to avoid seeing what really took place, so I wouldn't be in trouble. She had tears in her eyes. I was looking out for you. It was too much for my mind to handle. I thought she was lying to me the whole time, but she was protecting herself from something evil by herself. The two of us are not the same as we used to be. Some scars never get better. We are trying carefully and slowly, though, because the truth isn't always lighter than deception. There are times when love doesn't look clean or good. It's possible to love someone even if they hate you when you keep a secret from them or keep quiet. And sometimes the person you think is ruining your life is the one who makes it better. Please like, write, and share this story if you like it. Kindly sign up to get more interesting stories.